My girlfriend asked to go through my phone and delete all girls in my contacts since I mentioned a chick from the past. I'm fighting an emotional roller coaster. What do I do? Tell her yes, so long as she deletes her OnlyFans, her Facebook, and her Instagram first. Sure. Say, you know what? I'll be happy to delete all those contacts because you're the only girl for me, because I am not allowed to. If we're going to be in a monogamous relationship, and those are the terms, right? Because it's like a hostage negotiation, right? If those are the terms, then you're telling me that I'm not allowed to talk to any of my old friend or my old girlfriends or whatever, and I'm not allowed to pitch my sexual availability anymore to these girls. Fine. 100% okay with that. Guess what? Here's the deal. You now lose the option and the privilege to advertise your ass on Instagram. Ready? Deal? Deal? No? Okay, then shut the fuck up. I'll keep my fucking people in my. Oh, you know what? Actually, this is a really good one. Hold on a second. This is actually timely. This is very, very timely. Where'd it go? There it is. Oh, perfect. Perfect timing, my friend.
Way that women disrespect men without realizing it is through granting permission. In general, we have to ask permission of those who have the authority to grant our requests. This means that we act as though the good in question is actually in the possession of the authority who can grant us permission, whether that's technically true or not. Taking possession of that good without permission would be an egregious act of insubordination. And this is because permission only moves from the high to the low. Those with more power never have to ask permission of those with less. Now, the fact of the matter is that unless you come to a mutual agreement to the contrary, a man has no obligation to ask your permission for anything, even if he's in a committed relationship with you.
Now, does that answer your question? I certainly hope so, because it answers it for me. Thank you, Dr. Orion Taraban, for reiterating what I've been talking about since this book. Now, why do I say that? Because you'll hear this quite often. I think you've probably heard me do. I've said this about other videos as well. I know it was. It was what the hell was that bitch's name? Gia McCool, who I shouldn't call her a bitch. Actually, I like her very much. But Gia McCool had this. If you don't know who Gia McCool is, it's Gia McCool, a former porn girl. I think she was, maybe it was softcore porn. I'm not sure what she did, but now she's, of course, a trad wife, like all the rest of them, right? Everybody. This is the year of the trad wives. Just saying, the trad girls, or the trad thoughts, the trad spurgs, whatever you want to call them. But she said something to the effect of like, "Oh, you have to allow your man to lead. You want to get that twitch in my eye? Just say allow." You have to allow him to lead. You have to it's okay. You have to let the little husband think he's in control every now and then, because if you don't, then, it's the care and feeding, proper maintenance of a husband. Just, it's okay. You get to make some decisions, honey. Fuck you. Anytime. And I tell you the thing that gets me, like, I called her out on this. This was back 2 months ago, 3 months ago. I called her out on this. I said, anytime you're saying allow, it's exactly what Dr. Taraban was saying here. I said, anytime you say allow, you are the one who is in control. When I say that, when we start talking about responsibility versus authority, whenever the word authority comes up, that's whatever, especially tradcon women and especially tradcon guys, they fixate. They just glom onto the word authority. What do you mean authority? Do you mean crushing her little tiny sensitive female soul? How horrible of you. Boy, I would imagine being you. Imagine being so insecure that you would need to control a woman's every move. What are you going to do? Plant an Apple AirPod, or was it? Is it Air? Yeah, AirPod on her car to find out where she is every waking moment? Are you going to take her phone and go through your phone all the time? Boy, I would hate to be as insecure as you are. It all stems from exactly what Dr. Taraban was just talking about. Permission. Why are you asking permission? Sometimes guys will laugh and they'll joke with their buddies. Oh, got to go check with the boss. Anytime your friend says, gotta check with the little lady, gotta check with the boss. Hey, can you go hang out with the boys? We're going to go play basketball. We're going to go fishing this weekend. We're going to do this. Hey, come on out, man. Let's go out and just go crazy, man. Let's go lift. Let's go. It doesn't even have to be, it could be anything innocuous, right? The guy in your, assuming you have a tribe or a group of male friends at all. But if you do, the guy who says, oh, sorry guys, got to check with the little lady. And he comes back and, oh, looks like we're all good to go. Oh, sorry, guy. Was it Can't Man? Sorry, guys. Wife won't let me. That's the guy who has no authority. He has responsibility, but he has 0% authority in his relationship. And to the point where the guy doesn't even think about it. It's like, it's the first thought, right? His mental point of origin is, well, I got to clear it with the boss. That guy, his mental point of origin is his wife. That's who it is. Does not make decisions for himself. His wife makes decisions for him. Does not make, and just has no authority in his relationship and all 100% responsibility in his relationship. So when people ask me for an illustration of like, when we talk about authority and responsibility, 0% authority, 100% responsibility. If you ever want an example of that, look to the guy who says, oh, I got to clear it with the little lady first. That's a perfect example. Like, perfect chef's kiss. It's a perfect example of a lack of authority with 100% responsibility. Because like, if the guy doesn't pay the bills, well, boy, mom's gonna, if mama ain't happy, God ain't happy. If mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. I think that's almost a worse like idiom, I guess, or vernacular jingoism. When people say, oh, happy wife, happy life, that's easy. Oh, okay. But if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy, that you're ruined. You are absolutely ruined. So to answer your question a little bit, let me see if I can go back to you real quickly. Are you asking permission? Do you live in a police state? So are you fucking around with the girls who delete your girls in your contacts? See, the reason why I say this is, first of all, the idea that like women would allow a man to be in any way, like to make decisions. You got to let a man lead. You know what that means? It means you're leading, ladies. You're the ones with the authority, and you think you're going to just diminish yourself just a touch. So he thinks he's actually like pulling the strings. He's actually, calling the shots. Yet another reason why when women get a raise in pay or they get a promotion at work or whatever else, and they start making more money than their husband, or even if it goes like from like she's making less and she's making about the same as him, even that parity, if she gets to parity, it's still bad news. The clock's ticking, and God forbid she makes more than you after you having had made more than her for a while. The number one precipitator of divorce is a woman making more money than her husband. And I don't mean that like from the outset. Like guys will go, well, my wife's always made more money than me. Oh, I think it's great, man. It's awesome, man. I love it. She pays for everything. Don't you love hearing dudes like that? But that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is like guys who made more money than their wives or their girlfriends, got married or were married, and then that woman started making more than he did. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about. Because it used to be like the attraction was, oh, he looks like he's somebody who's competent. We just heard this chick talking about competency, right? This chick, right? Well, I'll bring her back up in a second. Competent men, they need to do these. Oh, women don't want to get with a guy who doesn't wash dishes. That's what's known as chore play. Would you like me to explain chore play to you? It's been around for a long, long, long time. I know, Gandalf, I was there 3,000 years ago. But anytime that woman is saying, I allowed him to do this, or allow him to be a man, allow him to whatever. If that's even like a thought process, ladies, if you have a husband, if you have a boyfriend, I don't know how many ladies are on the list watching right now. If you have a man who you say, well, I let him lead, I let him do these things, you got to allow a guy to lead. That's what Dr. Terabout's talking about. Again, Talked about it quite in depth in Religion in my 4th book. That's the thing, is in a gynocentric social order, there is a pervasive sense that women are always the authority. Always. And if they're not, they should be. They're entitled to be. They deserve it. It's retribution and restitution. And part of that restitution means that women have, at least feminine, from a feminist perspective, women should, ought to, are entitled to, and by God in heaven above, should have more authority than men. They should be calling the shots. It's not about equality. That's why I love it to get into those discussions about, well, you don't know what feminism is. Well, what is it? It means that men and women are equal. They will never be equal because the system itself is inherently unequal. The environment, the challenges, what is it like? And then, of course, I get into the whole rigmarole of like explaining like why I don't believe in quote unquote equality. Do I hope? Yeah, should we be, equal standard of justice? Yeah, that ain't going to happen either. But what I get into is like people when I say it's a shock to the system. I said this on Dr. Phil as well. I don't believe in equality. Period. End of story. Equality is a lie. It's a bill of goods we've sold. Well, really Western culture since the Enlightenment period. Well, we're all born equal. No, we're not. We're actually not born equal. And anytime anybody who knows anything about the 4 laws of genetic behaviors knows we are not equal. And that's actually a good thing. It's nothing wrong with that. It just means that your strengths are different for different challenges. That's all it is. Equality doesn't happen in a vacuum, but we've believed that it ought to be happening in a vacuum really since the 1600s, 1700s, Enlightenment era thinkers, because all they had to go on back then was, well, human nature is this. They didn't know any better.